Hello, dear viewers. Today, we will plunge into the world of ancient mysteries and greatness, where human genius and creativity have reached unimaginable heights. But before we begin our exciting journey, I have a question for you. Can you list all 7 wonders of the world? The concept of wonders of the world originates in ancient Greece. In the 4th century BC, the Greek philosopher Philo of Byzantium compiled a list of the 7 greatest achievements of architecture and art, which, in his opinion, deserved admiration. Initially, he identified 7 wonders, but over time, the list began to grow with legends and myths, and some of these wonders were lost or forgotten. Initially, there were many lists of miracles, and their number varied. For example, in ancient times, other structures were mentioned that could claim this title. However, it was the 7 wonders that became the most famous and recognized, symbolizing the achievements of ancient civilizations. Each miracle is not just an architectural masterpiece, but also a story about love, faith, and ambitions that have survived the centuries. These monuments remind us of what people's dreams and aspirations were like in the past. Today, we will embark on this amazing journey to learn about each of the 7 wonders of the world, their significance, and how they continue to inspire us even in the modern world. Get ready for an exciting story that takes you back to an era when dreams became reality and art and architecture reached unprecedented heights. So, are you ready to remember what wonders have been created on our planet? Let's get started. The Great Pyramid of Giza. Let's start with the most famous of the 7 wonders, the Great Pyramid of Giza. Built around 2580 BC, it served as a tomb for Pharaoh Cheops, who ruled Egypt during the 4th dynasty. This pyramid, which was originally 146 meters high, was the tallest artificial structure in the world until the 19th century. The creation of the pyramid required enormous efforts. About 2.3 million stone blocks were used for its construction, each of which weighed about 2.5 tons. The construction work lasted for more than 20 years and involved thousands of workers, architects, and engineers. The pyramid was surrounded by a complex system of underground chambers and corridors, which contained treasures and mummies of the pharaohs. The construction of the pyramid was connected with the Egyptians' belief in the afterlife. They believed that the pharaoh, having eternal life, should have been surrounded by everything necessary for life after death. Interestingly, not only local stones were used to build the pyramid, but also blocks brought from afar, such as limestone from Tours. Archaeologists are still conducting research to understand exactly how the ancient Egyptians were able to carry out such a grandiose construction without modern technology. Some theories suggest that workers used complex systems of levers and inclined planes to move heavy blocks. Today, the Great Pyramid is the only miracle that has survived to this day and remains a symbol of ancient Egyptian culture and engineering genius. It attracts millions of tourists and researchers who want to touch the history. There are 3 main chambers inside the pyramid: the Royal Chamber, which was probably intended for the mummy of Cheops, and 2 other chambers that could be used to store treasures. The intriguing corridors and mysterious inscriptions make this place a real maze of history. The Hanging Gardens of Semiramis. The second miracle is the Hanging Gardens of Semiramis, which, according to legends, were built in Babylon, modern Iraq, in the 6th century BC. These gardens are attributed to King Nebuchadnezzar II, who is rumored to have built them for his wife Amytis so that she could enjoy the green hills of her homeland as she was originally from a mountainous area. The gardens consisted of multi-level terraces on which exotic plants, flowers, and trees grew, irrigated by a complex water supply system, possibly using pumps and aqueducts. The description of the gardens that has come down to us suggests that they were a real miracle of nature, where plants hung from the terraces, giving the impression that they were floating in the air. Scientists suggest that an irrigation system was used to maintain such splendor, which could raise water from the Euphrates River. Despite the many references in ancient texts, the exact location of the layout of the gardens is still a mystery. Some researchers suggest that they could have been located not in Babylon, but in another place, for example, in Nineveh. Unfortunately, the Hanging Gardens have not been preserved, and their existence remains a matter of dispute. Some historians even believe that they could have been fictional, created for romantic stories. Nevertheless, the image of Hanging Gardens continues to live on in culture, inspiring artists, writers, and dreamers for centuries. They have become a symbol of love and abundance, as well as a reminder that even in the harshest conditions, you can create something beautiful. Statue of Zeus in Olympia. The third miracle is the statue of Zeus in Olympia, created by the sculptor Phidias around 435 BC. This giant statue, about 12 meters high, was made of ivory and gold, which gave it incredible brilliance and grandeur. The statue was located in the Temple of Zeus, which was one of the most important religious centers of ancient Greece. Phidias put into his work not only skill, but also deep symbolism. Zeus was depicted sitting on a throne, holding a rod and a statue of Nika, the goddess of victory. The throne was decorated with exquisite reliefs depicting scenes from Greek mythology, and its details reflected the highest level of skill of the sculptor. The statue was not only a work of art, but also an object of worship, attracting pilgrims from all over Greece who came to see this splendor and pay homage to God. Unfortunately, the statue was destroyed in a fire in the 5th century AD, although some sources claim that it was taken to Constantinople, where it perished. Despite this, her influence on art and religion is still felt. Many sculptors were inspired by her shapes and style, and she became a symbol of greatness and divinity. Temple of Artemis in Ephesus. The fourth miracle is the Temple of Artemis in Ephesus, built in 550 BC. This temple was dedicated to the goddess Artemis and was considered one of the largest temples in the ancient world. Its size was impressive. It had 127 columns, 18 meters high, each of which was decorated with exquisite reliefs and statues. The temple was not only a religious center, but also a place where important social events were held. Its beauty and grandeur attracted pilgrims from all over the world. The temple was built on the site of an earlier temple that was destroyed, and its construction became a symbol of the rebirth and prosperity of Ephesus. Unfortunately, the temple was destroyed in 262 AD during the attack of the Gothic tribes, and then rebuilt, but its splendor was no longer the same as before. In 401 AD, the temple was finally destroyed by Christians, and a church was built in its place. However, its grandeur and beauty continue to inspire archaeologists and historians, and today there are only ruins in its place that speak of its former splendor. The Mausoleum in Halicarnassus. The fifth miracle is the Mausoleum in Halicarnassus, built in 350 BC in honor of the Carian king Mausolus. This structure combined elements of Greek, Egyptian, and Asian architecture, and its height reached 45 meters. The mausoleum was decorated with sculptures created by famous artists of the time and had 3 levels: a square base, a middle level with columns, and an upper level with a huge statue of the mausoleum and his wife, Artemisia. The construction of the mausoleum has become a symbol of love and respect, and the very word mausoleum has become synonymous with the tomb. The mausoleum was not only a tomb, but also a place where important religious rituals and public gatherings were held. It became one of the first examples of monumental architecture, and its style influenced many subsequent buildings. Unfortunately, the mausoleum was destroyed in the Middle Ages, and its stones were used to build other buildings, including the fortress of St. Peter. Nevertheless, its architectural elements have continued to inspire builders over the centuries, including the famous Taj Mahal in India, which has become a symbol of eternal love. The mausoleum in Halicarnassus embodies the idea that love can be immortalized in stone, and its story continues to inspire people around the world. The Colossus of Rhodes. The 6th miracle is the Colossus of Rhodes, a huge statue of the sun god Helios, erected on the island of Rhodes in 280 BC. The height of the statue was about 33 meters, which made it one of the largest statues in the ancient world. The Colossus was created on the occasion of the victory over Macedonia and became a symbol of freedom and prosperity of Rhodes. The statue was made of bronze and stone, and its base was made of marble. The Colossus stood at the entrance to Rhodes Harbor and served as a navigational landmark for sailors. He was depicted in a pose that symbolized strength and greatness, and his hands, according to legend, were raised towards the sea, which gave the impression that he was guarding the island. Unfortunately, after only 56 years of existence, the statue was destroyed by an earthquake in 226 BC. For a long time, local residents left fragments of the statue on the ground as a symbol of divine wrath. Although the Colossus has not been preserved, its image has remained in history as a symbol of strength and greatness, inspiring artists and architects for centuries. For example, in modern art and architecture, we can see many references to this great miracle. The Lighthouse of Alexandria. And finally, the 7th miracle is the Lighthouse of Alexandria, built on the island of Pharos in Egypt in the 3rd century BC. The lighthouse, about 100 meters high, became one of the first in the world and served as a navigational landmark for sailors. It was built by order of Ptolemy II and became a symbol of the Alexandrian Empire. The Lighthouse of Alexandria had 3 levels: a square base, an octagonal level, and a round tower at the top. At the top of the lighthouse, there was a statue of the god Poseidon, which served not only as an ornament, but also as an additional landmark for ships. The lighthouse used reflectors and fire to create a powerful light visible from a great distance. The mirror system may have been used to enhance the light, making the lighthouse one of the most advanced structures of its time. The lighthouse served for more than 1,500 years, but as a result of a series of earthquakes in 956, 1303, and 1323, it was destroyed. There are currently ruins in its place, but its legacy continues to live on in culture and architecture. The lighthouse has inspired many other lighthouses around the world, and its image has become a symbol of hope and safety for sailors. That's the end of our journey through the 7 wonders of the world. These amazing structures not only demonstrate the genius of ancient civilizations, but also remind us of the importance of preserving our cultural heritage. Although many of these wonders no longer exist, their spirit and influence continue to inspire generations. Each of these wonders is not just stones and structures, but stories about love, faith, ambition, and the human spirit. They remind us that even in the most difficult times, people are able to create something beautiful and eternal. I hope you are interested in learning about each of them. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss new fascinating stories. See you soon.